everyone, Hope is back here at my book Nook. So, to finish off what I call my teen and young adult fiction of the 1990s, I am going to finish wrapping that up by talking still about Fear Street by R.L. Stine. In my last video, I was able to get to like all of the spin-offs, like the Super Chillers, the Cheerleader Saga, the Fear Street Sagas, the original Fear Street Saga, 99 House of Fear Street, Fear Park, and the Catalina Chronicles. So everything that was kind of like off to the side, and also explaining about the other spin-off books that there are that I do not have yet. So today is just talking about the original run of Fear Street books. So there were 51 in the original run of the Fear Street books from 1989 to 1997. So, and this again is not including like Super Chillers or any kind of trilogies or any other offshoots. These are actually numbered as the books in the Fear Street series. I have 47 of them. I am missing 7 of them. I think that's right. Because there are 7 that I have yet to have, and there's 51. So, I'm not good at math, but that's what my notes have written down. Or maybe it's 98 altogether, but for the original run, I am missing 7 books. Those are All Night Party, Fear Hall the beginning and Fear Hall the conclusion, Runaway, Into the Dark, Trapped, and Who Killed the Homecoming Queen. So those are the 7 of the original run Fear Street books that I have. Now that'd be 44, wouldn't it? Yeah, so I have 44. Okay. Math is not my strong suit. I had to go through in my head. But yeah, I'm missing 7 of the original run. So, over here, I have them a certain way, stacked. This stack right here are all of the Fear Street books that I have not read yet. These are all Fear Street books that I have read, and on my blog, there's the girl with the blog at blogspot.com. I have been blogging about Fear Street books called Focusing on Fear Street. So these are the books that I have blogged about so far. And this little stack here are books in the original run that I have read that I have not blogged about yet. So I have them in order of how I'm going to do them. So that's why I have them this certain way. So, yes, what I will do is I will show the ones that I have read. So I just grab a little stack here, and when I hold them up, you'll see that they have like little color tabs in them, because that's how I kind of went back to find the information that I wanted to actually, talk about when I was blogging them. So, and of course, again, I've been blogging about them. So, if you want spoiler-free reviews about the books, you can check them out. I have down in my links below, like all of my pages, my Goodreads page, my Amazon author page, my blog, my Twitter, and my Facebook, and, of course I post them here on my YouTube channel. So, but I have links down there if you would like to go check them out. They are spoiler-free as much as I can, not spoil anything about the stories. So, but I have blogged about them. But these are the books in order that I have read. So the first ever Fear Street book was The New Girl. So That was the first one, and it's pretty good. It gives away kind of one of the twists right at the beginning in the prologue. So, but it's an early outing of the Fear Street thing, but it's still a pretty good story. So, this is how the first few Fear Street books look. They had Orange Fear Street, R.L. Stine, and then they had the title of the book and cover art with a little tagline on the front, and then on the back they always had like kind of a picture of the cover art that had like no writing covering up some of it, and it always had this little intro at the first ones about, you know, welcome to Fear Street. So, welcome to Fear Street. Don't listen to the stories they tell about Fear Street. Wouldn't you rather explore it yourself and see if its dark terrors and unexplained mysteries are true? You're not afraid, are you? So, and then it would always have another little tagline on the back, and then kind of a blurb about the book. Some blurbs were kind of spoilers, and some weren't. So, but and the spine for the first Fear Streets always had Fear Street, and then the title, and then R.L. Stine. So that's kind of how the designs were. And the first 6 books in the series did not have Bill Schmidt cover art. They had cover art by other artists. So the cover art copyright is for Enric, E-N-R-I-C, all in capital letters. So June of 1989 is when this book came out. So June 1989, when we first got Fear Street. So now they're not numbered, but I checked to see how many there were. So I missed like a few. So the next one that I had was the wrong number, about a pair of girls named Dina and Jade who end up making like prank calls to Fear Street, and then Dina's brother gets involved, and when he tries to make a prank call to a house on Fear Street, they stumble upon a murder. That's as much as I can tell you without making it spoilers, because there is a sequel to it. Don't worry. And like I said, just like on my blog, I try not to spoil them for people who haven't read them, or if you haven't read them in a while, that way it won't take away your enjoyment of it. So, this cover art copyright is just to Gabriel. So that is by Gabriel, the cover art, and still the same little format so far. Next up is Halloween Party. This is one of the best Fear Street books. I didn't say that the wrong number is actually, it's actually a pretty good book. And I guess the story was still good enough, there was a sequel. But Halloween Party is one of those really good Fear Street stories, and it has a really likable title, you know, Halloween Party. This cover art is amazing. It is by Bill Schmidt, but it does not happen in the story. Not even close. So, but, yeah, and this one was kind of actually a reprint. So this wasn't an original one. This, because all the other Fear Street books were through, like, Archway paperbacks. So, through Parachute Press. This one was done by Simon Pulse. It's here on the side, and it's kind of gone over the edge a little bit, but it says horror. So it doesn't say thriller, it says horror. So, but it still has the same early Fear Street format on the side. So, because as you can tell, the R.L. Stine is different than just the plain Dayglow orange. So, and it still has its sticker on the back, because I got this at Books A Million. So it says the sticker on the back, but also the same thing the Welcome to Fear Street. So, it says here on the back, cover illustration copyright by Bill Schmidt. So, this is Bill Schmidt. So, next was the Step Sister. So, I guess this is an okay read. It also has a sequel. So, and of course, kind of changed a little bit with the format because the other, well, I guess it also depends on maybe the background, but this is kind of more like black on the inside with R.L. Stine. The others were kind of more like the background, whatever the background color was of, the illustration on the page. It's still the same on the back and on the side. So, next, I think this is one of the first Fear Street books that I ever read. This and another one I'll talk about were like the first two Fear Streets that I ever remember reading. And so I really like the story and I really like the cover art for this one. And it is called The Prom Queen. So, I think it's still going. Yeah. It's still going by that old format on the spine, Fear Street title, R.L. Stine. But the back is completely different. It doesn't have the Welcome to Fear Street thing anymore. It just has the tagline and a little blurb. But I love this cover. I'm trying to get it. There we go. So I love this cover. And I love this book. So it's one of my favorites. So the next one after that is First Date. About a girl going on her first date. And she has two guys asking her out on dates. And one of them happens to be a killer. It's kind of spoiled for you a little bit who it is. You think you have a red herring, but you don't. You can kind of tell right off the bat which one's the killer. So I guess it's okay. It's an okay read. And next up is The Best Friend. So this is when it started changing the side, though. It started putting R.L. Stine at the top, Fear Street in the middle, and the title at the bottom. But The Best Friend. It's probably one of the most infamous Fear Street books because the ending of it upset so many readers that they ended up having a contest from the stickers that I showed you on a couple of my other Fear Street books, where you could write your own sequel to The Best Friend, and I guess R.L. Stine would pick the one he liked the best. And of course they probably tweak it a little bit, and then they released it as The Best Friend too. So very Christmassy, and it's supposed to be a girl named Becca who's in high school, but as I wrote on the blog post that I did for this is kind of what my mom looked like in the 90s with her short hair. So she doesn't look like a teenager. She looks like my mom. But still very good detail in those drawings. I can't draw like that, so I can't be too judgmental. So I didn't buy this one at a bookstore like my other ones. I bought this at a Heather's Mall flea market thing. So it's got a sticker on it that I'm afraid that if I try to take it off, it'll rip. But I have read it though. So all the other Fear Street ones I bought at B. Dalton, except for Halloween Party. It was a reprint through Simon Pulse that I got at Books A Million. But the next one was The Cheater. So, and I got this for 65 cents. So, it's and it's still in pretty good condition. So, story-wise, I guess it's okay. It's not really that memorable. The next one is Sunburn. So, I like the bright blue color of it. So, and it's a pretty good story too. Kind of has a little bit of a spoiler, kind of towards like the middle part, and then kind of gives kind of away who's going on, who it is doing all these goings on that are, these terrible things. So, but it's still a good story. I just like this bright blue cover. So most of them were dark. So if you got like something that was a little lighter, different colored, or like the bright red, like Halloween Party and the Best Friend, just something different every once in a while. Next is The New Boy. So it's a pretty okay story too. So we have the new girl, and then we have the new boy. So next is Bad Dreams. So it's a pretty good story too. Kind of like The Wrong Number, where they have like the girls, in their like night clothes. This one kind of always reminded me of like those posters for like the Slumber Party Massacre movies. So, and I don't know if it's on all of them, but there's kind of like this little flaw right here. Like it's overexposed a little bit on the picture. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I don't know if it's on every copy or if it's just mine. But I like this cover art, and I like the kind of lighter colored book. But so Bad Dreams. Next stack of books. The next one I have is The Thrill Club. This is one of the Fear Street books that is not actually written by R.L. Stine. At the time when I read it, I did not know it, but now in this day and age where you can find things out on the internet, this was actually ghost written by author Tom Perrotta. He wrote the book Election, which got turned into the movie starring Matthew Broderick and Reese Witherspoon. I love that movie. So the plot kind of also revolves around a girl named Talia who's known for writing horror stories, but lately her boyfriend has been writing them for her. So it's kind of this weird little thing about it. A book by an author who's predominantly a horror writer, and it's ghost written by someone else. So it's kind of funny. It's actually a really good story, though. And if I didn't know it was ghost written, I would have thought it was written by R.L. Stine. It just seems like a normal Fear Street book. So sorry to burst anybody's bubble if that hurt. I even talked about it in my blog post about it. But next up is One Evil Summer. And I don't know why, but Fear Street is written up here in like white print, where you can like hardly see it against those curtains. And sometimes they even had like objects that would like obscure the title of the book or like R.L. Stine's name, like the cat being held up here. So One Evil Summer, actually a pretty good book. I like it. Okay, next up is The Mind Reader. And this is where some of my Fear Street books started getting R.L. Stine and Fear Street written in red metallic. So, The Mind Reader is a pretty good story. I like it. Next up is Truth or a Dare. So, it's okay. So, Next up is Dead End. Kind of a little tan color on the back. Like most of them were like dark blue and dark purple and black. And again, so it was always interesting if you found one that was like a little different. Next up is Final Grade. No red metallic title. Brown on the back. It's an okay story, I guess. Some of the things about the stories that are like most memorable are like the ways people get killed in the stories. So it's kind of like a spoiler if I tell you about it, but some of these books have like, memorable kill scenes in them. So it's hard not to like talk about it, or talk about the twists. So next up, back with more red metallic at the top. Like I said, the Prom Queen was one of like the first 2 books I read, but I'm not sure if it's the first one I read. But the other one of the first 2 that I ever read was Switched. It is another one of like those infamous Fear Street books. Like everybody who has read Fear Street books knows about this book and knows about the twist. And it's actually, before you even get to the twist, it's still a really good story. It's, it's got a lot of gory detail. And to tell you the truth, it's actually kind of sad for an ending. That's pretty much all I'll say. So it's kind of sad for an ending. A lot of Fear Street books they either have ambiguous endings, they have an ending where you can imagine it being like a sitcom ending where like everybody like has like this laugh at the end and it like freezes. So kind of like a corny, happy kind of ending. Ambiguous ending. And then sometimes there are like sad, bittersweet endings. So, but it's a really good book. So, and I believe it's one of R.L. Stine's favorites that he wrote of his Fear Street books. So he liked writing in the Super Chillers. He liked writing about Rita Dalby in the Silent Night ones. And one of his favorite Fear Street books was Switched that he wrote. So I can't blame him. It's really good. Next up is College Weekend. So, and this one has like a really long blurb on the back. So, College Weekend. And then some of my R.L. Stine Fear Street books had R.L. Stine not written in metallic red, but like in raised red letters. So, next after that is What Holly Heard. Kind of about midway through the book, there's like a really big spoiler that pushes the plot. So, What Holly Heard. So, probably not a big surprise on something happening to a title character. So, this next one was way before any of these other ones. It's kind of like around the time of like Thrill Club and stuff. I just put it down the bottom because, again, this is another reprint through Simon Pulse. So it's not like an original Archway Parachute Press book. So Simon Pulse, and it says teen horror on this one, not just horror, teen horror. So, and it's also a little bit longer than the other books. So, but this is Double Date. So, and it's an okay story. It has a really, actually kind of funny ending. Not like black comedy or dark humor but kind of funny ending. And the main character in this book, there weren't a lot of Fear Street books that had like male characters as main one. The new girl, even though it's called a new girl, its main character was a boy. So lots of Fear Street books mostly had like girls as like the main characters. But the main character in this one, Bobby Newkirk, is like a male chauvinistic pig. So it's kind of hard to like root for him being like the hero. That's all I'll say about that. But the original book, well, actually there was the original printing of this through Archway Press, and then there were some printings that came with butterfly tattoos and even like a little Fear Street tattoo, because a butterfly tattoo plays an important part in this story. So this had copies that came with little butterfly tattoos. So I never got those. So I actually think I read Double Date as one of those books that I could borrow, but you had to give them back. And I think that one had the butterfly tattoos, but they were taken out of it. So whoever donated took the tattoos out. But so I read that, and then I eventually found a copy of this. So I didn't get all these books in order as they came out. I just, found them. So, okay, this stack, of course, are, Fear Streets that I've read. So, I'm going to flip them differently. So it's actually going to go from like towards the end of the run backwards, because I need them in this certain way for right now, since I have yet to blog about them. But, so this was towards the end of the Fear Street run. It was the second to last book, and it was the sequel to The Best Friend 2. So even has that sticker about the book you demanded. So around the end of the Fear Street run, the books always started to look a little different. So they had this like background of like the Fear Street cemetery with, I guess, the Fear Mansion in the background, and then Fear Street kind of curved like that, and different font for R.L. Stine, trimmed in gold with bigger giant title at the bottom, and on the back just like the background of like the Fear Street cemetery and the woods. So no picture of the illustration on the front, and then just the blurb on the back. So that was towards the end. I think Trapped, Fear, and both Fear Hall books had this kind of outline layout for their books. So R.L. Stine at the top, Fear Street in the middle, but with the new font, and then the title at the end. So another sequel book, of course, The Stepsister 2. So, and still Bill Schmidt cover art, but a little more like, almost like photorealistic. So some of the covers were like that. Some of them look like realistic, and others look, just like paintings. So, and the first Fear Street sequel book was The Wrong Number 2. This one is just called Wrong Number 2. So it was called The Wrong Number for the first one, and this was just Wrong Number 2. So, of course, Bill Schmidt cover art different from the Gabriel art. So Dina and Jade, our two main characters, look a little different, a little bit older. Again, though, they don't look like they're in high school. They look like maybe they're in college. Although Dina looks like she could be my mom again. So, and this is going, of course, backwards now. Got the sequels out of the way. Since I already talked about the originals on blog posts, I'm saving the sequels for the end. So, next up is cat. So, just a plain minimalistic kind of cover, but still kind of looks more like a painting than a real person, but still has the little illustration thing on the back. And the blurbs just got like a little shorter but with bigger font on the background. So, and raised Fear Street title and stuff. Next is Killer's Kiss. So, kind of not realistic. Again, looks like a painting. Pretty good story. I know I kind of stopped saying like whether the stories were good or not, but it's pretty okay. Next up is The Boy Next Door. Again, with that little sticker about writing the sequel to The Best Friend. So, there's a little typo on this book. It tells that the two main girls are named Lauren and Crystal, but in the book, they're Lynn and Crystal, so it's actually got a typo on the back. So, but there are also editions of this book that don't have this sticker on it, so maybe it's just from these printings of it with the sticker on it. I don't know. I haven't seen the ones that don't have it, so some of these I didn't buy them exactly in the order as they came out, and some of them I did. So, which is why my copy of this next book has the same sticker as well. The Confession, a little more realistic. So, it's an okay story. Next is The Perfect Date, and for anyone who doesn't know, the model for the boy on the cover of this book is actually R.L. Stine's son, Matt. So, a little interesting tidbit. So, it has one of the most bonkers endings I've ever read in a Fear Street book. It really is. It's the weirdest ending, but it's a good ending, though. It's weird good, not weird bad. But it is the most bonkers ending I've ever read. Next up is Secret Admirer. Again, trying to be like a little more like photorealistic. So, because the photorealistic ones kind of began with what Holly heard, to my opinion anyway. Everything before that kind of looked more kind of like, paintings and stuff. So, but again, it was getting towards like, the later part of the series. So I guess that's just how they wanted to change the style. And the next book out of the Fear Street books that I have read is the one I'm currently rereading for my blog right now, The Face. So, it's actually a pretty good story. So, that's what I'm reading now. So, those are all of the ones that I have read. And, of course, like I said, I'm missing 7. And this stack is a bunch of Fear Street books that I think I acquired most of them through Amazon. I'll be able to tell a little bit better as we go through them. But these were ones that I had never read before. So I have not read any of these. I have heard people talk about them, and for some of them I do know little bits and pieces about the story, but I don't think I know any of the actual endings of the stories. So, first up is The Surprise Party. This was after The New Girl. So, it's a used copy from Amazon saying it's in good condition. And it still is pretty in good condition. And it's like green. It's got this green color scheme all around it. So, The Surprise Party. Next up is The Overnight. This is a used good copy. It's it's not as good as the surprise party was. It's got a little bit of wear on the back and a little on the spine, and the corner of the cover is missing. So, the overnight. Next up is missing. Used in good condition. Yeah, it's in pretty good condition. Little bit of a bend there. I guess there was like nothing stuck down in this or something. Okay. So, missing. Also used in good condition from Amazon, The Sleepwalker. I dropped it. I'll be able to get it. Next up, one of the first books to feature Bill Schmidt cover art, I believe. Yep. This is Haunted. This has a really weird, different layout that I've never seen on a Fear Street book. So, it also has a sticker on here. So, but the next one I have is Ski Weekend. It's in used acceptable condition. Still looks okay. A little bit of wearage, especially on the cover. Like it's like brown in here, and a little bit of a dog ear there. Still okay though. And a little chunk missing from the back, right here. So, but a little wear around the spine. But you know, sometimes beggars can't be choosers. But I've never seen this layout before for a Fear Street book. Where your worst nightmares live, with Fear Street, and then underlined and R.L. Stine in this type of blocky font. So, that's different. Okay, and this one kind of has the same thing going on with the Fear Street R.L. Stine thing at the top. This one took me forever to find a copy of it that wasn't like a turtleback book. So, you know, like these really small versions that they were kind of like hardback editions. So, and I really like paperback ones just because they're like thinner and lighter and you can stack them better. But this one was one that it took me a really long time to find, and I'm glad I finally found it. The Fire Game. It used very good condition. I'd say it's in pretty good condition. It took me forever to find this one. So, The Fire Game. Okay, and so another one with the same Fear Street R.L. Stine font at the top. Next up is Lights Out. I got this on Amazon in used good condition. Yeah, it's pretty good. The spine of it kind of bends out this way, but that's okay. A little weird on the cover, but it's still not that bad. Not the spine. So, but still. And I always heard about one of the kills in this book that sounded like really gruesome. So, that's pretty much all I know about that. Next up is The Secret Bedroom. I also have this on my Kindle, but then I have a physical copy. Used very good condition. It's in pretty good condition. So, next up is The Knife. Used good condition. Yeah, it's pretty okay. A little bit of a dog ear down here at the corner, but that's fine. And next up, also used in good condition off of Amazon, The Dare. It's got a little bit of a rip. It's got a rip there, which nothing I can't fix with a little bit of tape. So there. And I think a little bit of glue. There's a little bit of glue here. So, and again, I've got these stickers on the back that I want to take them off, but then I don't want them to leave sticky residue all over my book. Alright, the next book I have, I got it off of Amazon, but I didn't get it as a used copy. I think I just paid money for it, like it was just printed that way, so it wasn't a used copy. So I guess it's in just new condition completely, but it's got a little bit of wear on the front part of it. But Night Games, again later in the series, so it's getting more of that photo kind of realistic imaging. It's got a little wear around here. See, no sticker on the back of it. So that's Night Games. And this one I also got new off of Amazon, and it is The Rich Girl. Now, can't tell if you can tell here on the front of it, but here around the spine, it's got that little line through it where it's like glued to the pages. But you can also tell on the back, the cover art, even on the front and on the back, is like a little grainy, like it was like photocopied. And even like the font is a little smaller. And definitely you can tell on the spine of the book how tiny that font is. R.L. Stine, Fear Street, The Rich Girl. Like really teeny tiny font. So I actually think this is a little bit shorter than the other books. Yeah, it's a little bit shorter. And another thing about it is definitely brand spanking new. That is white. Can you tell how blinding it looks? It is white. It is like snow white. And even when you go through the pages, it looks like, when you get to like actual font and typing, it kind of looks like it was copied. So it's like it was completely reprinted, but it still has the archway paperback on the side of the spine. But in the back of the book, there's all these blank pages after, because it would always tell you what the next book was, and then it would have like the things in the back of the book, like advertising like other books by other authors, or advertising, you know, the R.L. Stine Fear Street books that you could order, that you could send away for them. So it's got those, and it has a lot of blank pages after that. And in the back, it has this little barcode printing, kind of the way it is in my self-published books. So, and it even says that this book was made in the USA in Lexington, Kentucky, and when I ordered this copy, I guess they printed it to order, because it's dated the 3rd of April, 2017, which is when I got this. So, but yeah, you can also tell it's really small. There's like ISBN on the bottom, and then here in this little teeny tiny corner is where they'd always have the price of the book from like, its US price and its Canadian price. So I paid $8.95 for this book. And, which is weird because all of these other ones, well, not Night Games, but like all these other Fear Street books, they'd always tell you down at the bottom how much they were on the spine. And this copy of The Dare was $3.99 when it was printed. So, goes to tell you how much books have changed in their prices, because even though this was a Simon Pulse reprint for the copy of Doubleday that I got, it said it's $4.99 in the U.S. So yeah. So, but I didn't have this one, so I gladly would pay $9 for it. So you can find used books on Amazon pretty cheap, and you know, you can also get a couple of used copies that you can get free shipping on. Of course, you get free shipping if you're an Amazon Prime member. My husband is an Amazon Prime member. I am not, so I always try to find books that have free shipping. So I'll get used copies, and you know, again, you get a used good copy that can look awful, and get a used acceptable copy, and it looks even better. So, but those are my Fear Street books that I have, and as I said, I am missing 7 of the original run. So these were all the original run Fear Street books. So that is my collection of Fear Street books, and at the moment, I am officially done with every kind of book that I have. Like I said, I do have like a couple of like media tie-in books, like, you know, with Charmed and Buffy, and I have a few non-fiction books. So I might eventually talk about some of those, but as for right now, I am done making Book Nook videos for right now, because I've pretty much gone through every single book that I have. So, of course, I will probably get more books, because I'm trying to finish my Fear Street collection. And, of course, I want to get more Point Horror and Christopher Pike books. And then, of course, there's a few B.C. Andrews books that I need to complete my series of those. And also, I hope in the future I will be able to put out more of my own books. So when I put out some of my own books, I will definitely come to my Book Nook and share about those. Again, still in the process of trying to find a job to go back to the workforce. So I had an interview today, which is why I have on earrings, if you couldn't tell. So I had an interview today, and I have an interview tomorrow for a job. Today's was a part-time job, tomorrow's is for a full-time job. So again, I'm done talking about books right now, so videos might be few and far between, but August is almost over. We're about ready to go into September, and of course after September comes October, my favorite month of the year, where I don't know if you've seen my past videos, but I was talking about videos I have in my collection that you can watch around Halloween. I did family-oriented ones, and then started getting into more like horror kind of films. I still have a pretty good collection of horror films that I can talk about, and maybe, it depends, in the future perhaps I might go ahead and move into talking about my Christmas movies that I have, or maybe talk about some of the Christmas music that I collect, because that's another thing that I collect, because, you know, for October I do horror stuff, for Halloween, and around Christmas time, whenever they put out Christmas music, I always buy some new Christmas music for my collection if I can find it. So, who knows? Who knows what's in store for me now? But whenever I do come to do any more videos, I will film them here in my Book Nook, even if I won't be talking about books anymore. So, you have just a nice, lovely backdrop. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm going to stop talking because it's running a little long. So, I thank you very much for joining me on my, I guess, an excursion through the books in my collection that I have. I wish I could have them all in one big room. But, so, until I see you all next time, this is Courtney Grunholz saying have a nice day, and This video will probably be posted after it, but I hope you have, or you had, a good Labor Day weekend. So, see you all later. Have a good day.